Blaylock, would you lead us in prayer? Please stand and then remain standing for the pledge, please.
Father, we thank you for this day. We thank you for your grace and your mercy, and we do not take those things for granted. Father, we thank you that you watch over all that the city does, the leaders of the city, that you lead, guide, and direct them. Lord, that you give them wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, and compassion. It is in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Please join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Ms. Blaylock, for that prayer, and thank you, audience, for joining us in the pledge. Now take a motion for the approval of the June 18, 2024 work session.
Move to approve.
All in favor, please raise your hand.
I need 1, 5, and 6 to abstain. It's going to be 5 with 3 abstaining and 1 absent.
All right. Thank you. Need a motion and approval for the June 18, 24 regular council meeting minutes.
Move to approve.
All in favor, please raise your hand.
Unanimous.
All right. Mr. Mayor.
Mr. President, I want to say thank you for allowing me the opportunity to speak to everybody that's here today and those that are watching virtually. Thank you for engaging in local government and learning what's going on here with the city of Montgomery. I do recognize the time, and we are very, very late. So I'm going to try to abridge my message and maybe carry over a few things. So as I'm kind of shuffling a few papers, those are things that I'm skipping over that I'll come back to hopefully in the next meeting. But I do want to highlight a few good things, and that is I want to start with the public safety update and talk about the 2 appointments that we believe will further strengthen our city's public safety services. Last week I announced Jim Grayboy's appointment as the city's interim police chief. Grayboy is a senior compliance specialist with the Alabama Law Enforcement Agency and served as chief of police at Alabama State University from 2012 to 2019. He's also shown courage in his service to our city, having received the Medal of Valor and the Medal of Merit in 20 years working with the Montgomery Police Department. He would join the city on July the 15th. I want to thank Acting Chief John Hall for filling this void and playing a vital role over the last several months, certainly with challenges both in the community and whatnot. I think he's done a fantastic job, and Chief, we want to just thank you and your family for stepping up in an unplanned situation. But following the transition, he will continue his work as the city's chief of investigations, of which he has really never given that part up, as he has apprised me on a lot of things that go on at PD, in particular when it comes to investigations, and giving me more detail than I had previously gotten. So Chief, we just want to thank you for these last several months, and want to just really just say thank you once again for that. Let's give Chief Hall a round of applause. I'm sorry.
Thank you, Chief.
Also, with the new interim chief in place, I have appointed Lawrence L. Batiste IV as Special Advisor for Public Safety. Director Batiste will work with me to develop strategies to reduce gun violence and other crimes, improve Montgomery Police Department's community engagement, and implement preventative measures. He'll also look at things overarching from the public safety perspective, from Office of Violence Prevention to 911 to EMA to Montgomery Fire and Rescue. So we're excited about Chief Batiste's term as Public Safety Director in Mobile from 2021 to 2023, and Chief of Police of Mobile from 2017 to 2021. His extensive career includes roles as Pritchard's Chief of Police and positions with the Mobile County Sheriff's Office, where he is a narcotics investigator with the DEA Task Force, led the Major Crimes Unit, and commanded the SWAT team. So he brings a wealth of experience and exposure to what we're trying to do here, not only in the city, but in the region. And we think between Director Batiste and certainly Chief Grayboys, we have two of the very best that we could have. That said, we will continue our search for permanent police chief. That continues, and I know that the consulting firm reached out to some of you and have already started some community conversations, if you will, and we'll be having more of those to see exactly from you what you think is needed in the next police chief. That firm is Strategic Government Resources, and they work with several hundred local government positions, and they provide us the tools we need to recruit, assess, and secure the leader that the city needs with confidence. And so, having had some of those conversations, I thank those of you who have been able to take part in those. Now we want to turn to some more good news around public safety. And I'm happy to announce an important benefit that will soon be available to the men and women who serve and protect our city every day. The Montgomery Police Department employees and their families will soon be eligible for reduced tuition at Faulkner University. This is being made available through an agreement I and Faulkner University President Mitch Henry signed last week. Under this agreement, full-time MPD employees and family members can receive large tuition discounts on eligible adult undergraduate and graduate programs at Faulkner University. Thank you. There's more to come. Children, which is probably the best part, children of full-time MPD employees are also eligible for significant educational assistance through Faulkner's on-ground traditional program at its Montgomery campus. That also includes stepchildren as well. So if you're any type of child, adopted, step, whatever, I might want to be adopted now, you can receive those benefits from Faulkner University. So we're grateful for the leadership, Mitch Henry and Faulkner University, for stepping up where that's concerned. A little bit more good news. We want to highlight Montgomery Fire and Rescue for another accreditation process, for completing another accreditation process for ambulance service. This is a relatively new space that MFR has gone into under the leadership of Chief Miford Jordan. It is now accredited through the Commission on Accreditation of Ambulance Services. This accomplishment proves the city's fire and rescue services remains the gold standard on many levels, and Fire Chief Jordan will have more details about this in just a few minutes. I want to say that, you know, when we're thinking about first responders, we talked a little bit in the work session about 911 operators, which we'll get to in a second, but the ambulance piece has also been an area of challenge. And so when Chief Jordan came with the idea around fire and rescue, getting in more in that space than previously because of the shortage on the private side, it has proven to be not only efficient and effective, but it's also proven to be profitable for the city of Montgomery. So I appreciate Chief Jordan, and Chief, I'll ask you to come on up if you can speak more to the accreditation at this time. That would be great.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Chief.
It's just not me, it's the entire fire department. Who you got?
I need you guys to move like you're going to put out a fire.
This is it. I just joking. Good afternoon. Thank you for allowing me the opportunity to share some good news. 8 months ago, we started another journey of getting accredited. And accreditation allows us to look at the great things we're doing, maybe some things that we don't know that we're not doing so well. So to back up a little bit, and the video is going to kind of tell you the story, but I guess give you a little bit. In 2014, we became ISO 1. That was great. We defended that again in 2019, and we were R1. In 2022, we got fire accreditation. That took 5 years to get that. 2 years later, here we are being accredited in the ambulance services. This work, not by me necessarily, but by the individual that's standing behind me and the men and women that serves the city each and every day in the fire and the rescue services. I want to thank the mayor. I want to thank the council, because all your support, those budgets, the budget, and the long talks the mayor and I have in investing dollars into Montgomery Fire and Rescue, the ordinance that you passed to give us the opportunity to transport, all these things are valuable to our city. I want to thank the finance director, Ms. Beeville, for actually working with us and helping us get to those dollars. So, if you will, the video.
In 2014, Montgomery Fire Rescue became the first ISO Class 1 department in Alabama. In 2019, we defended and maintained that rating. In 2022, MFR became the first Metro Fire Department in Alabama to achieve International Fire Accreditation. Later in 2022, MFR officially began providing ambulance transport in the city of Montgomery. In 2023, MFR began the arduous process to achieve accreditation through the Commission of Accreditation of Ambulance Services. On June 13th and 14th of 2024, two respected leaders in EMS arrived in Montgomery for a detailed examination of our EMS system.
Because we decided this, I know it's been a long process for our leadership. On behalf of the city of Montgomery and certainly our city council, we're just proud of our fire rescue. We have the best fire rescue in the state, and we put the work that they do and their leadership and their professionalism up against anybody and any fire rescue inside. And that's why we've invested record amounts in this department. And much like we're dealing with in other aspects of public safety, you know, the ambulance carriers, we're dealing with some shortages as well. And with us having to, you know, assist them quite often, it made sense for the city of Montgomery to get into the space. And I think that it's been a positive move, not only from a financial standpoint. I think it's been a positive move from the organizational, but more importantly, we've been able to serve the public in a much more substantive way. And when you look at our response times, they're great. And I think when you look at the professionalism and the service that people get regardless of what their circumstances are, these folks do a great job.
Good morning. Guys, I appreciate you guys coming in and helping us with this process. We're very proud to be at this point. I think probably about 10, 11 months ago, I get the staff up, keep the car up, and we talked about the CAS accreditation. My buddy out of Mobile, Gary Lenny, and I talked on the basis. And at the time, we were providing ALS service, but we wasn't transporting. And so we kind of held out the transporting deal for a long time, but we were kind of thrust into it. But since we jumped in there, so after Jeremy completed that process and we got to talking, and Chief Carter said, hey, look, I think we've done a lot of it. I think it's going to be a month, but it's something that I think we can achieve and accomplish. And so my thing is I want to make sure we're right on what we're doing, how we provide services, whether we're doing it good, whether we need to adjust things. And that process did identify some things that we need to do better or we wasn't thinking of.
So, come on, make sure you guys have this. Your name's on there. First, our city county personnel board is the first board. All of those have been answered, and then some. You guys have got a really great organization. You'll always have pride in your departments or whatever about having a really squared away, department. As proud as I am of having been in the fire service
required to do what we do it because you want to improve, because you want to. Had some great opportunities to talk with staff, and usually the question I ask them is, if there was one thing you could change, what would it be? And I usually have a whole bunch of stuff written down when and not necessarily all negative or anything like that, just ideas, things that could be done better or whatever. But most of the staff couldn't answer that question.
Great 2 days. I love going and seeing the great EMS systems across the country. I've been blessed and got to see a whole bunch of 20 plus years of interaction. I am thrilled and private that the agency in my state is going to like Montgomery. And I don't want today to feel like it's like you crossed over a hurdle, crossed over a threshold. I think it's the stuff that we've seen is more culture. I think you really do try to live your standards. And there's 400 and something cast standards throughout the whole thing. And for us to go through, and we only found 3 or 4 things that we just needed to work on, and we were able to get that done. And one thing I would say is, I said this earlier, a lot of times you lose agility the bigger you get. And so as big as this department is, when we found those couple of things that we needed to work on, it was surprising how agile the agency was to overcome those things and implement a change. And that's really uncommon.
So they do work with zero efficiency.
Following the site visit, the team submitted their recommendation to the commission, who met on June 25th, 2024. We are proud to report that the commission voted unanimously to confer a 3-year accreditation to Montgomery Fire Rescue. Only 155 out of 14,000 ambulance services are accredited in the U.S. Only 17 fire departments are ISO Class 1 fire accredited and ambulance accredited. Of those 17, only 9, including MFR, are Metro fire departments. Thanks to Mayor Reed's investment in public safety and the support of City Finance Director Betty Beeville and all members of City Council, MFR has 16 redesigned ambulances on order. This more than $3.6 million investment will ensure that EMS systems in Montgomery is reliable for years to come. Where do we go from here? 3 to 4 new fire stations are needed with accompanying personnel additions. Increase staffing to support revenue-generating EMS ambulance additions, at least 24 in fiscal year 2025.
All right. Thank you. That ends our presentation, but I'd like for everyone to know that we're working each and every day. This was June 25th, so that's behind us. So we're looking at what's in front of us. And so we will continue to serve the citizens of Montgomery at our best services. And I want to thank the men and women of Montgomery Fire and Rescue, because without them, there is no Montgomery Fire and Rescue. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chief.
We have one item that we'd like to get a group picture with. Okay?
Yes. Come on, Chief.
Up here.
The ISO rate going down the way y'all move. All right, Coop, you need to get in the picture. Let Chief take it.
I'll do photos.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. Congratulations.
Again, we want to thank everyone in Montgomery Fire and Rescue. I'm going to skip through the other parts of the mayor's message. We'll save those for next time. We do want to let everyone know that we'll be celebrating Independence Day. We want to invite everyone to come out to Riverfront Park for our celebration event. As we enjoy the festivities, let's remember the responsibility that comes along with that. It's a day to honor the courage and sacrifices of those that been a part of creating this, founding this country, and been a part of sustaining it as well. Let us stand united, celebrating all the diversity and strength that make our nation great. And Mr. President, that concludes my remarks. I'll turn it back over to you. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Any questions for the mayor? All right, any special committee to report?
Yes, Mr. President.
Go. Ms. Johnson?
Mr. President, we concluded today in the Commerce Committee. We are going to, on the council, I'm going to go ahead and pass this out, but when we get started, but we're in favor of voting out the NACS codes for Revenue Department, as well as some fee schedule increases. I'm passing it out. Yeah, give me one more. Yeah. And so what we've decided was we voted out the next codes and proposed fee schedule council, and these increases out of the committee, they'll be effective October 1st with these fees. So the revenue came up with some really creative measures to ensure that we aren't taxing everyday citizens, but have appropriate fees for business owners. Now with these measures, we can expect a budget that's more sustainable, so we won't have to continuously search for funding when imposing raises that have been already discussed during the work session and any other projects that we may have as a city. This is one step forward, council, that we are looking at creative measures to improve our budget and increase our budget as time is changing, and we're modernizing the equipment and increasing staffing for the city of Montgomery.
Okay. Any questions for the Commerce Committee on this ordinance, on the amendment of the NATS code? All right, so you bring it out of committee. We'll carry this over and be voted on in 2 weeks.
I think they're wanting the ordinance adopted tonight.
We do.
And they'll do amendments on fees later.
Okay.
Correct.
All right, Ms. Johnson?
Hold on, we're voting on this?
The only thing you're voting on are the
NACS
NACS
codes.
codes where they say.
So we're
what
not
each-
voting on the fee structure? or none
No,
of that?
that'll be presented at a later
Okay,
time,
thank you.
council.
Okay.
All right. All right, Ms. Johnson, any motion?
All right, motion to, am I bringing this out, bring it out to committee to, go ahead and vote on the next code approval?
All in favor, please raise your hand.
Unanimous.
Okay.
Unanimous. The ordinance is adopted.
All right, thank you, Ms. Johnson. Thank you guys
Thank you,
for
Mr.
the work.
President.
All right, any other committees report? Ms. Mitchell?
Mr. President,
Mr. Mitchell?
we want to bring out the ordinance on the Montgomery Museum.
Okay. You have it?
You have to have a vote to bring it back out of committee.
Okay. All in favor, please raise your hand.
The motion is
This is
to
the
bring.
motion to bring it, you know, we put it in committee.
Bring it
Yeah,
up.
so you gotta bring it out of committee for a vote. All in favor, please raise your hand.
Bring it out.
Unanimous.
All right. Mr. Mitchell?
Mr. President,
All right, explain your motion.
we would like to put this on the agenda. I want to carry over for the vote on the,
16th.
yes, ma'am. There was some questions about it, so
Okay.
I had it staying, I wanted to carry over.
All right, so it'll be on the agenda for July 16th.
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Mitchell. Appreciate you working that committee. All right.
Okay, you ready for item 1?
Item 1.
Item 1 is mayoral veto of ordinance 24-2024, the rezoning of 4 lots on the south side of Carter Hill Road between West Haven Lane and Sanford Street from an O1 to an R16M district.
All right, we have in our public communication, the council for District 7 would like to speak first. But okay, all right. In our public communication on item number 1, I'm just going to call your names up, and you can just come up to the podium. Ms. Jesse Tompkins, Joel Reed, Tara Kemp, Irva Reed, Dr. Sinclair, Corey Muhammad, Kay Underwood, all right.
How you want me to time this, Mr. Chair?
All right, you guys come on up. I think we have about 9 people speaking on this. We're gonna give you 6 minutes. If you can get me one spokesman, if you guys want to share the 6 minutes, that'll be fine. I'm not gonna allow 3 minutes for each person that's gonna speak. We have a spokesman. You guys are opposing this item?
Yeah.
Are you opposing or are you in favor of it? Opposed. Okay, come on. All right, what I was saying, we'll give you 6 minutes. You guys can come as a group, speak as 6 minutes total. And if you still got some points to make, I might allow another minute instead of going 3 minutes for each person to speak.
Okay,
I need 1 minute.
clarification. Are they opposing the veto or are they opposing the ordinance?
Yeah, I'm opposing. My name is Jesse.
Hold up, you opposing the veto or are you in favor of the veto?
To veto it. We don't want it.
Okay, so you're opposing it. Okay,
Together.
all
Yes,
right.
sir. Yes.
Okay, go
Good
ahead.
evening, Mayor and your staff and City Council members. My name is Jesse Tompkins. I am a homeowner and resident on Terrace Avenue. I'm opposing the project there where you want individuals and investors want to develop a housing unit there. That's going to create substantial problems for the residents there because it's not going to support the homeowner base. What I mean by that is only going to support the investors. It's not going to help the residents there. It's not going to improve what we want as homeowners. If you look closely at the title search that was done on that property, it has a historical value. That historical value said blacks could not own land in that area. James Wilson, his family had a law firm there, a medical firm there. It was a resident. We lived there. My parents there, my daughter there, my grandkids are there. We don't want this changing. I don't want to take up too much time, but please consider in 1996, they had that similar problem up on Jackson Street. Investors wanted to come in and build all these fancy units. We oppose that. And we
Thank you,
ask
sir.
them to do the same.
Next person.
Am I recognized, Mr. President?
Yes, sir. Mr. Reed.
Thank you to the council, the mayor, and all assembled. I come to be very brief. I ask that you sustain the mayor's veto. We want you to sustain the mayor's veto for the benefit of the neighborhood. I once said what you now said, and I had a policy that I never voted for a rezoning issue that the people in the neighborhood didn't want. Now, I know people want to invest, fine, I do it, we all do it, no issue. But then there are some investments that are made are bad for the neighborhood, and this is one. If it's going to be a house, they're going to put houses there, I wouldn't say a word. But we really don't want it. I'm asking you, each one of you individually, and particularly my councilman, not to override the mayor's veto. I ask you, please don't do that. We don't want that. And we ask you not to override the mayor's veto. I don't know of anything else we can say. I think we've been here enough. We've spoken to you about it enough. You know where we are. And I don't see how we can allow or will permit someone from another city. A citizen who does not live in the neighborhood coming and invest in our neighborhood. Yes, that's an investment for them, and it will be probably a positive one. But it'd be bad for our neighborhood. And we put a lot of effort in that neighborhood, and we're trying to keep that neighborhood like it ought to be. A very good, very strong neighborhood, a beautiful neighborhood and all. So, again, I ask you, in every way I know how, in behalf of all of us who live in that area, not to override the mayor's veto. Sustain his veto and move forward. I want to thank you for listening. I want you to weigh what I've said carefully. And again, for the 24 years I've said where you now sit, I never voted for any plan, whoever it was, that the people in the neighborhood didn't want. And I asked two fundamental questions. The person who wanted to make the change, I asked, where do you live? That was my fundamental question. Where do you live? And once I heard where they live, you live over in X and you want to come over in Y? No. Again, I want to thank you for listening. And I ask you again, please don't do that. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else?
Good evening, honorable council members. My name is Dr. Sybil St. Clair, and I hope that you will agree with the mayor's veto of this. As a longtime resident in this neighborhood, I do not support this zoning change. I do not support this project as a multi-family complex in this area, which has predominantly single-family homes, which is also historically valued. It would be unesthetically unpleasing and, in my opinion, unattractive. Also, it will not add value to the historical nature of this neighborhood. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you. How much time we have, Ms. Blaylock?
26 seconds.
All right, we got 26 seconds, sir. It's the shot clock. I know you know how to do it. You're a basketball man.
Peace. My name is Corey Muhammad, and I lived in the area for a long time. I wrote a letter to Mr. Szymanski. First of all, I don't even know who the person is, so I'm not anti whoever's trying to build a building there. However,
go ahead.
I wrote a letter to you, but it kept on being rejected. So I can read very fast. It'll take 60 seconds. All right. My name is Corey Muhammad, and I'm a resident in the neighborhood about 2 houses down from where the proposed building of the 6 student duplexes are being asked to be built on Sanford Street. I want to say that as a longtime resident for over a decade in the area, I am totally against this type of housing being built in the neighborhood for many reasons. First of all, according to the Brigham Young University and FBI reports, there have been a dramatic increase of violent crimes occurring at and around off-campus university housing sites across the United States of America over the past few years. Furthermore, the U.S. Department of Homeland Security issued a terrorism advisory system bulletin warning of mass attacks of violence, especially on soft targets such as HBCUs. HBCU is right across the street, and on campus, off-campus housing and institutions of higher learning, especially during the upcoming political seasons because of people's differing ideologies. This again puts unwanted and new unnecessary potential violence in the neighborhood of permanent residents. Furthermore, off-campus occupants of student housing are not permanent residents of the spaces they live in, and this can lead to many unwanted issues in a neighborhood where the majority of the people living there are permanent residents. For instance, studies have shown that off-campus student housings, such as those being proposed, can cause the value of residents' housing to go down, and on the flip side, it can cause it to go up depending on, because it can raise the value of people moving there, or it can drop it because people don't want to move there because of that.
All right, Mr. Hummond, we got your point. I appreciate you.
I'm just curious, because I don't know, so please excuse my ignorance. Why was only a couple of minutes, 6 minutes total given? Is it because the issue's already been discussed?
Because I had so many people. I know you guys opposing it, so I'm trying to get the people that's in favor to come up also.
Okay.
All right, thank you, sir. Thank you for your time. All right, the petitioners, Ms. Catherine Douglas.
Council, I just want to make some additional comments to those that I made last time I was here.
Your name for the record, sir.
I'm Catherine Douglas, but Mayor, I'm sorry, but Attorney Wilson will be speaking on our behalf, and we also have someone that's in favor to speak as well.
All right. Give you 6 minutes, sir.
I will not repeat.
How much?
6.
I will not repeat the comments that I made the last time I was before the council. But I will say that the proposed rezoning request is consistent with the Vision Montgomery 2040 Comprehensive Plan, which was adopted by this council July of 2022. The council should know that this neighborhood has always had mixed-use housing units. In fact, one of the lots that's the subject of this application contained a duplex many years ago, probably before many of these people were even in the neighborhood. The reason I know that is because my family lived there and my family owned this lot. The area currently has a number of duplexes and 2 apartment complexes. Just a few years ago, the Board of Adjustment and the city approved the construction of several duplexes on Finley Avenue, Finley Street, approximately 100 yards from the location of this proposed project. The council should be consistent in adopting the Envision Montgomery Plan, which required, in order to retain residents in the city of Montgomery, different types of housing complexes, including duplexes, apartment complexes, and etc. That's all.
All right, any questions? Mr. Smith?
I got one more person.
Yeah, one more. What's your name? What's your name for the record?
Jasmine James.
How much time we have left, Mr. Laylock?
4 minutes and 8 seconds.
Okay. Your name for the record, ma'am?
Jasmine James,
Okay.
Parker. Yeah, Jasmine James, Parker. Yeah, and I'm for it. I do live in the neighborhood.
Speaking to your microphone, please.
I do live in the neighborhood, and my family does own a few properties in this neighborhood as well. And they mentioned one of our properties is one of the duplexes, and behind, on that same street, I think it's Sanford or West Haven, I'm not sure. Yeah, Sanford. There are also multi-unit housing on that street. So I'm for it, and my family's for it, and we think it'll be a good idea.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Jane. All right, Mr. Smith.
And I'd like to make a comment. We also we're the developers here in this area. I want you all to know that we are not implants nor transplants. They may not know us, but we are from this city. My husband's family, the Douglas family, has had 7 graduates from Alabama State University. At one point, they were the family that has had the most graduates from that university that comes from one family. We are not transplants or implants. We are from this city. We are developers, and we want to give back to this community. We see a need. We have spoken with Alabama State. We have spoken with Huntington College. There is a need. This is no different than any universities across the country. There's a shortage of housing. My husband's family, which is the Douglas family, has graduated from Alabama State University. They have been in this city for many years, volunteered throughout this city for many years. They were drafted for pro baseball from this school in this city, and our children has attended public schools in this city. Again, I reiterate, we are not transplants, nor are we implants.
Thank you, Mr. Douglas.
Mr. President.
Mr. Mayor.
Can I speak to the veto itself? Do I have an opportunity to speak to that?
Yes, go ahead.
Can I speak now?
Yes, go.
Okay, so just wanted to give some feedback on the veto. One, you've heard the second item about the homeowners adjacent to the development not supported in multifamily complex. I'm one of those families. It's 2 blocks from my house, past Mr. Wilson's office every day. So it's not a personal disagreement with Mr. Wilson or these developers. It's about fit for this neighborhood. And so it does not align with our approach in regards to zoning, code, and development. The Vision 2040 comprehensive plans recommends traditional neighborhood. Now, let me speak to that just a little bit. One of the things that we've done since the 2040 plan was passed is we have reached out to all of our colleges and universities about university corridor planning and development, making sure that from an economic development standpoint, from a housing standpoint, as well as from an inspections and permitting, we are working with core pillars in this community. We often talk about the state government, we often talk about Hyundai, we often talk about Maxwell Air Force Base. We rarely talk about our colleges and universities. So we've reached out to them to make sure from the Choice Neighborhood Initiative that we applied for with Patterson Court, with Alabama State, to all of their border streets from University Drive all the way over to Hall Street and even Forest Avenue to Carter Hill Road, to get a sense of what our plans were and what we are looking to do from an entry into all of our colleges and universities. We've met with AUM, Faulkner is next, and I think we've met with Huntington already to discuss everything from traffic and engineering to other broader plans for what we can do as a city. What the Envision 2040 plan does not take into account is this University Corridor Initiative. I was not mayor at the time, and so when we came on, not this council, but a previous council, I believe, did pass that as I was mayor. So, you know, the quadplexes for students, there is a place for that in the city. There's a place for it in the area. It's just not on Carter Hill Road, in my opinion. It's not between West Haven and Sanford Street, to be more specific. We would be very, very willing to look to work with you at any city-owned property that we have, to partner with you in this endeavor and to work in another way. But not in any way do I feel that this is a good fit for Carter Hill Road and what we had discussed with the leadership at ASU in particular, and more importantly, as leadership changes, as the mayor leadership changes at institutions, more importantly, what we want this city to look like 20 years from now, 30 years from now, with proper coordination between our colleges and universities and our city's development and our city's planning. So I want to make sure that I underscore that first item. And then the third piece certainly is the project will increase traffic and require substantial infrastructure improvements the city is not positioned to fund and execute. Again, we don't think that this is where quadplexes or multifamily units for students should be. We don't think that the city should position to fund and execute infrastructure spaces there. Again, I think there are other areas in this community that would be ideal. There are other areas that we have positioned to developers, that we have shown developers, but it's not on Carter Hill Road and it's not in this specific plat. We certainly would be interested in single family housing or a different type of development, but not for quadplex or multi-family residence in this particular place. So I just want to explain a little bit of the veto because I didn't get a chance to call all my council members, individually as I would have liked. just to give a sense of why that veto is there and give a little perspective on that.
All right, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Smith?
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, Mr. President. Obviously, an issue with a lot of input and emotion. I appreciate all of that. This has been something that we've been working on since about February now. We've been having discussions about this. I just want to point out a handful of things as kind of went into where my recommendation is coming from, starting with Alabama State and their need for more student housing, Huntington College for their need for more student housing. We already have multifamily housing units that are facing Huntington College right now. And there's a ASU facility that is a multifamily that's right across the street from the Huntington College baseball field. It's a $3.8 million investment by a minority developer that's come to the city interested in putting money down. And I counted on Carter Hill, Mr. Mayor, there are 1, 2, 3, at least 4 other R60s, 3 of which are within 1 block of this proposed site. Planning Commission, I think 2040...
None of them have university, none of them have student housing on Carter Hill Road.
Well, I understand that, but I'm still thinking that the idea of a high-quality student housing or housing unit of any kind that's going to bring new investment, new people spending money. We have a shopping center.
Mr. Maskey, you live in Cottage Hill, and I love the Cottage Hill Association because they've been active since I was on the Planning Commission in 2004. So I go back 20 years to what's on the Planning Commission.
Yeah, well,
long before I was mayor. So one of the things that has been brought up is it's not just always about money. It's not always just about how many people it's going to be. It's about fit. And I've heard that from the Cottage Hill Neighborhood Association, as well as the Old Cloverdale Neighborhood Association, as well as the Garden District Association.
Well, I've gotten feedback from
several meetings.
Mr. Mayor, I've gotten feedback from those neighborhoods about the positivity. One of the things that was said to me is that, and something I get complaints about pretty often, is that college kids dispersed into the neighborhoods buying low-rent houses all across some of our historic districts cause similar problems. And I don't live in Cottage Hill. I live in Cloverdale, Idlewild. I live across the street from a 4-unit multifamily house and of students and traveling nurses. And so, again, I think the fact that it's forward-facing on Carter Hill Road, the opportunity for students to be within walking distance. I've talked to the planning department. They know that a college connector, a corridor was one of my 3 ARPA projects, not only for the Fairview Avenue area, but also for Carter Hill Road. And so I appreciate and respect the reasons for the veto. I think this is an opportunity for growth. I think it's an opportunity for investment. And Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion that we override the veto.
Okay. Have a motion to override the veto. All in favor, please raise your hand.
Four.
All opposers have the same right.
2. Abstained.
Sustained. How many? Raise your hand, please. You sustained? 3?
3, yes, sir. The motion fails for lack of majority.
Okay. Right. So the veto stands.
There is the presumption of a positive motion at this time.
Yes. Okay.
To adhere to the veto and to adhere to the mayor's veto and deny the ordinance would be the next motion.
Okay.
Somebody want to make that or not? It could die right where it is. Council's choice.
Right. Or you can make a motion to adhere to the veto. And I will make a motion to adhere to the veto. It will die like it is. So it'll be like.
As it is now, mayor's veto stands.
Yeah. All right. Item number 2.
Item 2, hearing on proposed ordinance rezoning one lot located on the southeast corner of Morland Road and Edgar D. Nixon Avenue, 367 Morland Road, from an R65M district to a B2 district.
Okay. Item number 2. Property owners for item number 2, please come forward. All right, to speak on this item, go ahead and state your name for the record, sir.
William Boyd.
All right, to speak on item number 2, I have Kevin Epkins, D. Weststone, Reggie Dunn.
How you want me to time it, Mr. Chair?
Are you guys in favor or opposed? Favor. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We go with 6 minutes.
That all?
5 minutes, Madam Chair. 6
I would
minutes.
like
Okay,
to.
go ahead, sir. Your name for the record?
Kevin Elkins.
5 minutes.
That's kind of short.
Everybody here is in favor, right? You in favor of item number 2?
I'm in favor.
All right.
Yes.
It shouldn't take you that long to convince us. Go ahead, sir.
I'm in favor because there are 3 things. I've been in this city for 33 years, and there are 2 things that are absolutely being consistent since I have been here. Whoever the mayor is, nobody likes him. And William Boyd has tried to invest. For 33 years I have been here and has ran against opposition, but nobody else has really brought anything to replace what he was trying to do. We keep saying we want to build West Montgomery. We want to build West Montgomery, and I don't understand how we're ever going to do that. City council people, some of your city council people that don't want a liquor store, they don't want a car lot, they don't want this, they don't want that. Well, then put something else in its place. Only one I know who's been consistently trying to invest in West Montgomery is William Boyd. And me and William don't even agree on a lot of things, but we agree that we need to build something up besides hamburger joints and things of that nature. So I'd say let him do what he does. It's pragmatic because you'll put something there, and we need to get rid of the broken windows thing. Okay? If something's not there, something's going there. Okay. The only difference is, will it be good or bad for the community?
All right, thank you, Ms. Evans.
Thank you.
Are you trying to help him or hurt him? I'm just teasing, man. Ms. Westone?
Good evening, Montgomery City Council. I do stand in full support of the rezoning of the ordinance.
All right, thank you. All right, anybody out there oppose item number 2? All right, Mr. Andrew Szymanski.
Any more talkers? Or?
No, I think all of them. Mr. Boyd, you want to come on up?
Support. Yeah, I spoke to the president of the Planning Commission, also happens to be from the District 7 representative. There's a little bit of confusion apparently at their meeting. I'm all on forward, so I'm going to make a motion to adopt.
Okay, I have a motion to adopt. All in favor, please raise your hand.
Unanimous. The ordinance is adopted.
All right, good luck with your business, sir.
Item 3, resolution approving an application for business license for DeMarco Stoner Cafe, 3119 Atlanta Highway.
All right, representative for DeMarco Stoner Cafe, please come forward. Your name for the record, sir.
Marco Thornton.
All right, Ms. Beard.
Yes, good afternoon, Mr. Thornton. I'm going to make a motion to adopt, that we go ahead and adopt this resolution.
Okay. Have a motion to adopt. All in favor, please raise your hand.
Are you going to make a motion to amend?
And then I'm going to make a motion to amend as
Well,
well.
you've got to make the amendments before you adopt
Okay,
them.
sorry, Marco. I'm going to make a motion to amend what we've got on the books today.
Then a motion to adopt.
Then make a motion to adopt.
Okay.
But I have to make the amend first. Correct, Ms. Blaylock?
You've got a motion to adopt that's on the floor. Now, we've got a motion to amend. We need to know what those amendments are.
Yes, we're changing our name, correct? And it's going to be House of Hemp Freedom. Hours are going to be...
Hemp Freedom?
Yes, ma'am. Hours will be 10 until 10.
Okay.
You will have an outside smoking section for your hookahs and that kind of thing. We're having no advertisements that adult toys or anything like that. And you've taken care of all the business obligations. And you will connect to Star Watch at your business.
Not all my cameras, the front cameras. My customers still want their privacy.
Do what now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, yeah. Thank you, Marco. Marco and I met several times, one time, and then we talked on the phone several times. So I make a motion to...
Now we just need to call for the vote.
Need to call
All right, got a motion to adopt as amended. All in favor?
Motion to amend.
Motion to amend. All in favor, please raise your hand.
Unanimous.
All right, Ms. Beard.
Now the motion to adopt.
Now the motion to adopt.
All in favor, please raise your hand. Vote.
Unanimous.
All right, good luck with your business, sir.
Good luck,
All right,
Marco. Thank you.
Have a good one.
Resolution is adopted as amended. 4, resolution approving an application for an alternative transportation service doing business as disability as an ability toward success. Moms on the Move, 3015 McGee Road.
All right, representative for disability and ability toward success, please come forward.
Good evening.
Good evening. Your name for the record?
Demetria Dantzler.
All right, tell me what you're doing with this. What's this?
I run a nonprofit for families of children on the
Speaking
autism
to the microphone.
Sure. I run a nonprofit for families of children on the autism spectrum, and this is an additional service that we're adding for transportation.
Okay.
And it'll also be, sorry.
All right.
It'll also be non-emergency transportation as well.
All right. Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
Any questions?
Baby has something to say.
Here you go.
No, go ahead.
You say the baby had something to say? She say approved.
Motion to adopt.
All in favor, please raise your hand.
I'm sorry.
Motion to adopt.
Unanimous. Resolution is adopted.
Ma'am.
Good luck with your business.
I got one question, just one. Do you take some of those children over to Faulkner to their new medical facility? They've got some great facilities you can take over for evaluations.
Oh, she took the, sorry.
If you're not using it, it's a good resource.
Yes, sir. So we're actually very familiar with their speech,
Okay. Just
physical,
making sure.
and therapy. Several of our families are participating with services.
Sounds good.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Item 5.
Yeah.
Ordinance amending ordinance number 19-2024, pay raises.
All right, Mr. Pruitt.
Move to suspend the rules.
All in favor, please raise your hand.
8.
All right, this item be carried over. Hey, Mr. Mayor, I know you had, we carry these over because that'll give a chance, Mr. Drabos will be here. Chief Drabos will get a chance to talk about that as we move forward.
Okay.
All right.
Item 6, ordinance authorizing payments to the Montgomery County Sheriff's Department for patrolling and law enforcement until MPD reaches 400.
Mr. President. I'm going to go ahead, Mr. Calhoun, and move to suspend the rules.
All in favor, please raise your hand.
I'm writing down, sir. 7.
All right, this item be carried over for 2 weeks.
All right.
Hey, Chief, go ahead.
He was just going to speak to the federal grant piece that I brought up during the work session. I just wanted to give y'all.
Let's speak, that's item number 7. Go ahead and speak to that for me, Chief.
Yeah, we're speaking to the federal grant money that we utilize as well as the county utilizes. That's how we're paying for traffic enforcement through these different areas. And that's a grant that's done through multiple agencies. So each agency has a share to their own. And you have to be very careful on how you utilize that. So we're out there running this overtime for traffic enforcement, which is modifying traffic behaviors. And a part of that same grant, the Montgomery County Sheriff's Office is utilizing to modify traffic behaviors as well. Those monies are completely separate. So each entity is paid to go out there and do traffic enforcement. It all does come from one ultimate grant that covers everything, but they are completely separate. And I know, talking with the Sheriff's Office, that some of that's being utilized out there because we cannot cross over. In other words, when we talk about what enforcement we're doing, the Montgomery Police Department wrote X number of tickets, and the Montgomery County Sheriff's Office wrote X number of tickets. We can't cross those over. We cannot double count those because if we don't accurately count those tickets as what we're doing for enforcement, we can lose that grant money. So we're very careful that we talk and we don't cross over. We don't say, you know, this detail route so many tickets. In this case, we have to say the Montgomery Police Department wrote so many tickets and the Montgomery County Sheriff's Office wrote so many tickets so that each entity gets their grant money.
Okay.
Chief, I understand that there's grant money to do certain things with in law enforcement. At the end of the day, how much do we use, Chief, out of our budget, dollar-wise, is our overtime that we use out of our budget for overtime pay?
I don't have that overtime pay in front of me.
It's a pretty big number. So I guess the moral of my story is that some things are covered and some things are not on the federal grant money. we're probably, what, 4 to 5 million on overtime, ballpark?
I don't have that number in front of me.
You said 45, not 45.
No, we're not 45, 425.
Okay.
Just general ballpark. So all overtime money is not paid out of grant money, I guess, is my point.
That is correct.
And Councilman Pruitt, one thing I was alerted to was there are some existing grants for the safer communities that are out there that have been kind of broadened, if you will, for us to look into. Again, after we get with Chief Hall, I certainly don't have an issue looking at the federal side, if it's not covered under this grant, at what we can do, because there are billions of dollars still left out there for that safer communities grant.
Now, I remember you sharing that. I just don't want to lose any help we get, Mayor.
Well, no, me neither. But I also don't want also don't want the city. Again, I know we're going to talk about budgets and everything else around pay increases and other things. Also, don't want the city to have to pay for something if we can get our federal partners to help us and those at the state as well.
Okay.
Mr. President.
Ms. Beard?
I just kind of was listening to this conversation here. You know, my thing is that I just want to make sure that we have those safety, the law enforcement agencies just continuing to work. I know we're giving tickets here and giving tickets there, and I understand that. But when it comes down to an issue that requires more than what our police force can help us with on any kind of incident, we have to call in other agencies. And is the Sheriff's Department going to continue to join in with us? And that's backing up to what happened in one of my areas 2 weeks ago, because I know that they were there. The Sheriff's Department was there. I didn't see any state troopers. I didn't see all of that, but I just want that security and for the city, whether it's sheriffs, Montgomery Police Department, and we know we're down in numbers. We all know that. We just can't have another incident like that where we can't pull on all those agencies to partner together, and that's what I'm looking at. So if we don't have the $40,000 to pay them, common sense tells me, well, hey, your brother's in trouble, you come help them. But I want to make sure that we have every I dotted and every T crossed, because we let that happen, and I don't want that to happen again.
I'm very confident that we can address this issue, and again, I think we'll have everybody covered.
Okay. All right,
and we'll have that done next couple of weeks.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
All right.
Thanks, Chief.
Any questions, Chief? All right, Mr. Pruitt. Madam Clerk.
Item 7, ordinance to establish duties regarding supervision of minors within the city to provide penalties for failure to supervise minors and other purposes.
Mr. Pruitt.
Mr. Calhoun, this is an ordinance that would hold the parents accountable for some of the minors' actions. What I'd like to do is to put this into the Public Safety Committee meeting, or the Public Safety Committee, and have a meeting, Ms. Blaylock, next council meeting,
All right.
2:30? Or do we do that at the end?
No, we can do it now. Mr. Pruitt, okay, we'll go ahead and put that in the public safety, but as I said in the work session, I would like to also put the curfew ordinance that we've been discussing as a council in this committee, because I think those two go hand in hand. I think Ms. Johnson has passed out a curfew ordinance that we've been working on to try to put those as we come up with a solution on how we address these issues in the budget. So we'll put.
I mean, that's great.
What you got, Ms. Blaylock? We want to put that in the Public Safety Committee.
Do we need to introduce that curfew?
It's got to be introduced.
We'll bring it up at the end of the
order
meeting.
to be able to be put into the
Okay,
committee.
we'll go ahead.
Just bring it up now, Marcia.
Go ahead, bring it.
And we'll just carry it over.
Mr. President, Pro Tem, I appreciate the work that you put in for the holding the parents accountable in the ordinance that I put together with the research done by Councilman Calhoun, Councilman Oronde when he did his previously. I even looked at Councilman Larkins when he did his, and I kind of combined them all to where we are today and put some stipulations in place. Councilman, can you is it 2 more down there that you can pass down this way? Councilman Jim Wright, because they didn't get them.
We can share
Okay.
if needed.
And so research shows, I did a little number, I did some data pulling from the Justice Department and the juvenile justice reform initiatives that were done throughout the United States. And this is kind of baseline on what is happening across, we have Mobile has done this, Birmingham has done this, and so I thought it was fitting with numbers already in place. This is a baseline and a starting point for us to create something. Hopefully we will have to look into the police force and the actual enforcement piece, but I think this is very doable. It's a great starting point. It has some fines on here, some fees, some jail time included, and I think this is just a really good starting point for us to really get a hope to the juveniles that are really delinquent at this place and really out of place, to kind of give some structure to the city, because I found that even in my military time, when you give a city or an individual a little bit of structure and discipline, things tend to change. So this is a starting point. I was hoping that we can go ahead and vote on this and move today, but I'm open to if you want to look into it some more, but I've done the research.
You have the...
Yes, sir, I have both the ordinance for the minors and also the curfew ordinance into public safety committee.
Okay, all right. So we need to read them on the vote and we'll put them in the public safety committee?
Yes,
sir. Ms. Blaylock, are you going to go ahead and read it?
You want me to go ahead and read it?
Yeah, just so the people can hear it. Yes, ma'am.
Ordinance establishing curfew regulations.
Okay. All right, so we'll place those two ordinances, the one Mr. Pruitt is talking about, referring to supervision of minors within the city, and the curfew ordinance into the public safety committee.
Mr. President.
Mr. Mitchell.
One question for Councilman Johnson. I see that it's falling up under municipal court, and I was just asking Stacy, would that fall, juveniles fall not up under family court or juvenile court? They would fall, that we could fall them up under municipal?
Typically, juveniles are, only juvenile court has authority to take any action over juveniles. And they typically hold the parents accountable for any contributing to the delinquency, that kind of thing.
So we'll work it out in committee. All right, thank you.
Item H, ordinance amending ordinance 51-2023 to change the times of the work session and the council meetings for August the 6th and December the 3rd, 2024 to 2 p.m. and 3 p.m. respectively.
Ms. Beard?
Yes, want to move these, the one in August because of National Night Out, that is set every year. And so we all miss that because it's on a Tuesday and we run late. So if we move it up a little bit, the council members will be able to, and the mayor, will be able to go, and everybody else from the city will be able to go and visit with those neighborhood associations. And then also in December, we have the riverfront Christmas lighting, which we ran a little behind on last year and got stopped by the train. And so if we move that up, we can all get there, and the people that are down there waiting on us can go ahead and we can have that as a starting point.
Okay. All right, what we're doing is on August 6th, we're moving the meeting. The work session will start at 2 p.m. The regular meeting will be at 3 p.m. on August the 6th and on December the 3rd for National Night Out and for our Christmas tree lighting. So those are what we're trying to do, what we're doing here. So, Mr. Beard, any suspension of rules?
I think Mr. Pruitt had something to say.
Ms. Pruitt?
Mr. Calhoun, is John Dow here?
Mr. Dow?
I saw him earlier.
Yeah, he's
in the back. And the council's talked about this. I still think we should, as a council, create a Montgomery Night Out. Do it in April or October. We don't get any national funding for National Night Out. Create our own shirts. Everybody pitch in and give John some money to do our own thing in the city.
I think you own something, so.
Also cooler.
Absolutely.
All right.
John?
So, yeah, I was, hey.
Yeah.
Any questions you have?
Yeah, just real quick, John. I want to sit down with you and maybe a couple other council members and mayor. We were talking about, we've always talked about it, creating a Montgomery Night Out. We get no national funding, we get no dollars. You know, we could all contribute to you, and we create our own emblem, our own thing, and do it, you know, in April or October, whatever the council would think. Where it's not 9,000 degrees outside.
Sound like a plan. I remember when I was there, we talked about having it on a Saturday, or having some other day that did not require the council to be stressed the way they are now. So I'll be glad to entertain that conversation.
Now, we ain't doing it on no college football Saturday,
Yep.
John.
Right.
Let's don't get carried away.
All right, let's go ahead and take the motion to change the meetings, and then we'll discuss trying to move the Montgomery Night Out. Ms. Beard?
I make a motion to adopt,
Suspend
the rules.
All in favor, please raise your hand.
Unanimous.
Make a motion to adopt.
All in favor, please raise your hand.
Unanimous. Ordinance is adopted.
All right.
Item 9, resolution repealing the legislation which created Montgomery City County Personnel Board and expressing council's intent to adopt an ordinance creating a city personnel board in accordance with Act 2024-337.
I'll explain what we was doing with that in the work session. Mr. Reed, Jeremy, JR. Anyone have any question on the reason why we're moving this on the personnel board? All right, take a motion to suspend the rules.
Motion to suspend the rules.
All in favor, please raise your hand.
Six.
All right, the item will be carried over for 2 weeks. All right,
Item 10, resolution amending procedures for the issuance of all liquor, beer, and wine license off-premise and on-premise.
Item number 10. All right, need a motion to suspend the rules.
Motion to suspend rules.
All in favor, please raise your hand.
Unanimous.
Motion to adopt. All in favor, please raise your hand.
Unanimous. Resolution is adopted. Thank you, council. Item 11, resolution approving and authorizing Mayor Reed to make an application to HUD for the fiscal year 2024 CDBG program funds, home program funds, and emergency solution grant funds.
All right.
Move to suspend rules.
All right, a motion to suspend the rules. All in favor, please raise your hand.
Unanimous.
Move to adopt.
All in favor, please raise your hand.
Unanimous. Resolution is adopted.
Thank you.
Item 12, application
Hold
for...
on. What are you saying, ma'am?
Did she sign up?
She has signed up.
Hey, what's your name? Did you sign up to speak on item number 11? No, sir. Who told you? I don't have it, man. We're moving on. Item number 12. Sorry. Yeah. You can speak with the department. We already... The department. Yes. Thank you.
Item 12, application for a special events retail liquor license, doing business as HBCU Afterglow Concert Series, 355 Coosa Street.
All right, need a motion to suspend the rules?
This is a public hearing, Mr. President.
Oh, I'm sorry. This is a public hearing. Anyone like to speak against this item? Please come forward. Seeing none is proper for the council, need a motion?
Motion to suspend the rules.
All in favor, please raise your hand.
Unanimous.
Motion to adopt.
All in favor, please raise your hand.
Unanimous. Resolution is adopted. Item 13, application for a conference center, doing business as ABJC Conference Center, 3836 Harrison Road.
All right. Yes. All right. This is a public hearing I have on the public. No, it's not. Well, on item number 13, Billy Crawford. Billy Crawford, please come forward. What's your name? Hold on for a second, Ms. What's your name for the record?
Tanisha Bell.
Tanisha Bell. So this is your item, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Let her speak first, then I'll bring you back up.
Good evening. I'm a resident of 37 years in Forest Hills. I am, my name is Billy Crawford. I recently was voted the president of the Forest Hills. This establishment, if it's given, it will affect not only my neighborhood, but also the Lakeview Heights neighborhood. It's back to neighbors. Just a few points. The parking in this area is a closed little shopping center. I feel like the traffic flow will be affected. We're already congested on Harrison Road and Imperial Road. Also, the shopping businesses that are already there will be affected by this. We're losing people every day in our neighborhood. And it's because of crime, the pop-up party houses, that we have, and I feel like this is going to be on the same venue of them. I'm asking for a stronger neighborhood, and to this resolution or application to be not accepted. I ask for your vote. My neighbor and my neighborhood do not want this. Thank you.
Ms. Bell?
Hi, my name is Tanisha. I've been in business since way before COVID. I've never had any issues, and I understand, what she's saying, but I've never had any issues with the city council or bad things happening, at my place of business. I'm applying for a conference license, and like I said, I've been in business since prior to COVID, starting out as an event center. However, the focus has shifted. I provide meeting space for professional nurses, all kind of organizations, the Black Nurses Program, entrepreneurs, that kind of thing. Other activities include small business networking and sales. I don't know what else I'm supposed to say, but I've been in business 6 years. This is my livelihood. I'm moving from my current location because there is a issue with the landlord there. He is doing something else with the space, and so that's why I'm currently moving. And I ask that you consider.
All right. Any questions for Ms. Bell?
Yes, I got a question. Can you define for me as a conference center?
Yes, during the week, we host in the area that I'm in. There are no hotels and things like that, so people use my space for conference meetings, small meetings, whatever if their offices are having things, all kind of things like that. I also host baby showers. I've been doing that for 6 years, baby showers, and I have hosted other parties as well.
Okay.
I originally started out primarily as a venue, and it's just kind of shifted, but I still.
Yes, ma'am. Definition of conference center is a conference center is a large building that is designed to hold conference, where it is individual or groups gather to promote and share common interests. That's the definition of a conference center.
And I do those things as well. Chi Eta Phi, that's a nursing sorority. They meet there monthly with their sorority meetings. Also the Black Nurses Association, that's another affiliation. A lot of entrepreneurs as well. I also do the other party things too. It's not just, that's what it started out as a, it started out as a event center.
Talking to Mike.
It started out as an event center, but I've added things to it in those 6 years.
Mr. President.
Ms. Johnson?
In our Commerce Committee meeting, there was a high conversation, and we have spoken to Revenue on defining for business licensing convention center, conference centers, and event centers. Ma'am, there's the event center that you got, and that you're still operating, because the conference center does not do what you have described. Some of it does, and most of it does not. And I think that I would ask the councillor if we have opportunity to do that, because we are, the Revenue Department is working on that, so that way it'll be added into the actual ordinance. So that way we don't have this confusion, because we'll call it confusion today. And we have several other people that want to open conference centers throughout the city. And there is, by the way, a hotel, Hilton Garden, is right there, and there's a couple of more in Interstate Park, so you are near hotels, just a FYI.
No, I'm sorry, I wasn't saying present.
Oh, you're current. Where are you currently at?
I'm sorry. I currently have.
He's talking to Mike.
Where I am.
Speaking to the microphone.
I currently have a space that's on 886 Plantation Road, and I have a business license that I've had there for 6 years.
Revenue, could somebody from Revenue come up here, please? I'm a little, so would this be a transfer of a license or a new license?
She has an event center at the Oak location. I want the council to know that she falls within 4 miles of another event center, which prohibits her from having an event center at this location.
Okay. Gotcha.
Okay. You have a question for Revenue, Ms. Johnson?
They just answered it for me. Thank you.
Okay.
Mr. President.
Mr. Mitchell?
I guess my question is, so are you guys trying to get a liquor license?
Actually, I was grandfathered in with the current license that I have, so I don't know what I need for it, if that makes sense. Sorry. I don't know everything that we need for it because I was grandfathered as far as not having license. And they changed the ordinance, I think, in October. So when all that stuff was going on, it was kind of confusion or whatever the case may be as far as what we had to have. So I haven't been updated on that as far as what I need.
Mr. President, we're going to be carrying this over regardless. As was brought up during the Commerce Committee, there was some confusion. And really, we either have to license people at what you're doing as a business, because if not, then we're just going to take it away. And I think, I wasn't around when we came up with the radius or whatever, but we're going to spend a couple of weeks looking at this thing first. And I also just wanted to say, I have heard a lot from the neighborhood, and it's nice having you out here tonight. I heard a lot from your residents, but most importantly is that we have to close a loophole, and there's an ordinance that says that an event center cannot go there, and we can't unfortunately have businesses conducting event hall activities inside a property that's licensed to do other activities at the moment. So we can take a look at it. I think Councilor Johnson is right that we should have a Commerce Committee discussion about it, but we're not going to be moving on this one or the next one tonight.
All right, so item 13 will be carried over 2 weeks.
So do I come back to the next council meeting?
Yes. July 16th.
Or do we just wait to hear what's the
You should probably speak with Mr. Szymanski.
We'll be in touch.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Next item.
Item 14 is an application for a conference center doing business as B Smart Conference Center, 3834 Harrison Road. Same location, next door.
All right.
You gonna carry this one over?
Yeah, Mr. Elton Dean and Patricia and Elton Dean Jr. Is the petitioners, and Ms. Billy Crawford. Please come forward.
Again, my name is Billy Crawford, Forest Hill Neighborhood Association. We oppose this application, and we want to keep our neighborhood safe. We want good business in there, but we don't feel like this is the kind of business we need in our neighborhood. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Crawford. Mr. and Mrs. Dean.
Good evening. My name is Patricia Dean. We are the owners of Be Smart Tutorial and Child Care Development Center. The purpose of putting in the application for a conference center, I did not categorize that as an event center. I did not, our goal is not to open a conference event center. We have several events during the year for our students at the daycare. Our business is growing. The need for a larger center or space is growing. This year for our Easter pageant, our Valentine's Ball, our preschool graduation, we actually had to rent an event center to have those activities in. My purpose for the conference center is just to be able to house the different things for the daycare during the year. We have a back to school open house that we do for our students and parents. During Thanksgiving, we feed the community. And during Christmas, we have our Christmas pageant. So we're not asking to be licensed with alcohol. We're not asking to have any events that will require alcohol. We just want to be able to have a location where we can do these activities for our daycare students.
Mr. President.
Ms. Beard.
Well, if you had this conference center,
would you be allowing other people to rent your space? Or are you just going to totally have it for your daycare?
Totally for Be Smart Tutorial and Child Care Development Center.
Will you eventually move your tutorial there since you're running out of space?
No, we're actually going through the license process for our second location, so no.
Okay.
Okay. Mr. Samansky? All right, Miss. Okay. He's gonna carry it over for 2 weeks and say he'll be in touch with you guys to discuss.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Item 15, application for a towing company doing business as LMS Towing and Roadside Assistance, no physical location.
All right. All right, item 15 with the representative for item 15. I can't read his writing. I think it says Lawrence Smith.
Lenarius Smith.
Lenarius Smith. Okay, sir. All right. You already stated your name for the record. Mr. Mitchell.
I guess there was some issues on not having are you working out of your residence? How are you doing?
No, sir, I'm not working out no resident.
I guess that was the only question.
We're parking the truck.
Huh?
We're parking the truck.
You know how I feel about it. Where you parking your vehicle, your truck?
Oh, I don't have a truck at the current time. I was going by the right way by getting my business license first.
I like you.
Okay, so I will, like I said, I will not hold this up, council. I think he said he's not working out his home, don't even have a truck yet, so I don't want to deny him the opportunity, but you will not be working out of your residence, correct?
No, sir.
You will not be bringing multiple cars, parking them in the yard?
No, sir. I'm not using my truck for no accident cars. I'm not getting into all that.
Okay.
It's going to be straight roadside assistance, going to fix cars, you know what I'm saying, airing up vehicles, tires, and taking the cars to the destination where they need to be cooked, to be fixed.
Thank you, sir. Mr. President.
Mr. Mitchell.
Suspend the rules, please.
I have a motion to suspend the rules. All in favor, please raise your hand.
Unanimous?
Motion to adopt.
All in favor, please raise your hand.
Unanimous. Resolution is adopted.
Good luck with the business, sir. All right, item 16 will be carried over.
Yes.
Item 17, resolution appointing Jeremy Browning to the Montgomery Plain City Commission.
All right, Mr. Samansky. Need a motion to suspend the rules, sir.
17.
Suspend the rule.
All in favor, please raise your hand.
He hasn't, I didn't hear him make the motion.
Hey, speaking to your mic, sir.
On the remaining of the agenda.
On the remaining of the agenda.
All in favor, please raise your hand.
Unanimous.
Need a motion to adopt?
Motion to adopt.
All in favor, please raise your hand.
Unanimous. Resolution is adopted. Item 18, appeal of demolition of Governor's House Hotel by
Please,
Kobe Dollar.
Oh, we have a motion to suspend the rules already for the remainder of the agenda. Need a motion to adopt?
Well, this is one where he requested it to be carried over to 7/16 because he couldn't be here because he lives in Florida.
A motion to adopt. We need a motion to adopt.
Motion to adopt.
All in favor, please raise your hand. Say your gas.
Exactly.
8.
All right.
Hold on just 1 second.
Got it, man?
Yes, sir, I've got it. Item 19, pursuant to Section 1153B1 Code of Alabama, authorization of demolition of an unsafe structure at the listed locations.
All right, the 3 properties that we're demolition is up on the board: 629 Woodrow Street, 1200 Grove Street, and 1721 Foster Street. Anyone in the audience needs to speak to us on those items? All right, need a motion to adopt?
Motion to adopt.
All in favor, please raise your hand.
Unanimous. Item 26, resolution declaring, authorizing, and assessing cost of abatement of public nuisances on various lots.
All right, need a motion to uphold?
Motion to uphold.
All in favor, please raise your hand.
Unanimous. Resolution is adopted. Council, I do have contingency funds. These have not been approved by the mayor's office. District 1, $750 to AUM Dixie Youth Baseball Softball for World Series. Mayor, all of these are vendors. For District 2, $1,000 to East Montgomery Baseball Association. District 2, $1,000 to Duchess and Divas. District 2, $1,200 to Montgomery Gray Dixie Softball. For District 4, These are for schools. Katoma, for back to school, these are going to be $1,000 each, and they're all schools. Katoma, MLK, and these are for uniforms and school supplies. South Lawn Middle, South Lawn Elementary, Carver Elementary, Carver High, Davis Elementary, Bellingrath Middle, McIntyre, TS, Morris, and also $2,000 to Bellingrath, South Lawn, Dixie Youth.
What district is that, Ms.
District 4.
We need to check the balance on that account first.
Mr. Mayor, you okay with these?
You know, some folks like to just get all this out at once.
I just want to make sure my children get back to school safe and be able to have some uniforms at their school.
That's right, Council.
You okay with this? Okay.
Ms. Blaylock, I need to add a couple, please.
Okay.
I need 1,000 for for Eastbrook Morning View Association.
Eastbrook
Morning View Association.
View Association.
These are all for their National Night Out.
Okay.
1,000 to Del Reyta Association. 1,000 to Madison Park. 1,000 to Deerfield. And 1,000 to the Woods, Winbrook, and Dexter Ridge.
Woods.
Winbrook, Dexter Ridge. And 500 to Duchess and Divas and Gents. And 1,000 to the Timbers.
Is that all?
Today, yes, ma'am.
Hey, what about Lagoon Park?
Okay, I forgot that one. Sorry, CC.
Mr. Mayor, you okay with this?
Yes.
And 2,000 to Lagoon Park for a stove.
You got the last edition?
Yes, sir. 2,000 to Lagoon Park.
For the
Right.
stove.
Anyone else? Need a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
All in favor, please raise your hand.
Mr. Pruitt, unanimous.
All right. Any council have anything else before we go into our public communication?
Yes, I want to say something real quick. I got something with public safety. I know that we've had an incident that happened at Gateway Park, and I know we've been looking into it. And I know they're going to be out there this Saturday because they're doing lead playback. And I just want to make sure we're going to have some security out there that's going to cover them while they're out there for league play this weekend. Can anyone address that for me and let me know we're going to be good on the league play for Saturday at Gateway Park?
Good evening. We have secured the sheriff's office on Saturday from 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. for that golf league on Saturday.
So we will have armed security out there with
Yes.
them?
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
I thank you so much for that. And I would inform them that they will have some security out there because I don't want to lose anything out of District 4 and I don't want them to take their league play away from us. They enjoy coming out there and visiting in Gateway, so that's one reason why I want to make sure we're safe out there.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Just so you know, Chief Hall and I specifically spoke about Gateway because of the value that it has not only to the community but to the city itself. And we certainly understand that some of the events that have happened in broad daylight are inexcusable. And we're making we're fast tracking some security upgrades out there that will include license plate readers, that will include more cameras, and we'll make sure that if there's anything else that's needed, that we do that. But that is a priority, given that we appreciate having a public golf course. We appreciate all of the fishing and everything, the baseball leagues that people do out there. And it's a lot of people who use the walking track as well. And so they need to feel that sense of safety when they're going somewhere, obviously, to have the, little recreation and that sort of thing. I didn't know that we didn't have some of the basic things that at that location, and we're also looking at doing that at Lagoon Park and some other parks as well before we wait and something happens there. We want to be proactive in that and make sure that these parks are equipped with more surveillance than what we currently have.
Thank you so much.
Mayor.
Mr. Calhoun.
Mr.
Go ahead,
Pruitt,
Ed, go ahead,
Mr.
Ed.
Grimes, then
Mr.
Mr.
President,
Pruitt.
I got one question. Mayor, any way we could consider park rangers, somebody, the unit, that works for Parks and Rec, just to to keep our parks safe. They'll have to go through the police academy like the old days. And they sign up, and their job is going to be Gateway, Lagoon, wherever they need it. Just start with a smart force, just so we have that covered.
So that concept was brought up in another conversation. I've not presented that yet to Chief Hall or to our Director of Parks and Recreation, Mr. Brandon Dean. But I think it's worth looking into.
Absolutely.
And so I appreciate you and some others who mentioned that.
Okay.
Hey, Mr. Pruitt.
Hey, real quick, Stacy, Miss Beard tried to hire some off-duty officers, and she was told that we could not. The opinion that we asked the Attorney General was, could they additionally enforce our traffic laws? Didn't have anything to do with, can we hire off-duty police officers? Is that correct?
We can't hire them to enforce the law. If they're patrolling, then that's enforcing the criminal laws.
So you're telling me for the last 50 years that council has hired off-duty police officers to ride their neighborhoods, we've been doing this against the law?
I wasn't aware that was happening.
But I think,
Mr.
Pruitt.
Mr. Pruitt.
Don't tell them yourself.
Mr. Pruitt.
Hang on now, hold on. So we hiring off-duty, and if they see somebody breaking in a car, they can't arrest them?
Are they patrolling?
They're patrolling the neighborhoods.
For crime.
Extra patrols, yeah.
Looking for crime.
Correct.
Correct.
They cannot, Mr.
Well, what
Pruitt.
are they supposed to do? What are you supposed to hire them for?
Blow the whistle.
This, whatever. We'll
Mr.
wait for the
Mr.
Attorney
Pruitt.
General's opinion. Jesus Christ.
I did-
The
Mr.
sheriffs
Pruitt.
will do it all day long. Okay.
All right.
Mr. Pruitt, I did hire
Miss
some officers.
Miss Beard.
I'm sorry.
Mr. Pruitt want to have a conversation after the meeting?
No, not necessarily. Mr. Calhoun, President Calhoun. We did hire some off-duty last weekend, and it proved to be great, and I've requested that for a couple of other weekends as well, just to make sure that my neighborhoods are being watched because of some certain things that have happened, not only in the North Pass area, but other areas. Kudos to the Office of Crime Prevention this past weekend. We had a fabulous walk over in the Montgomery East Hyde Park area. We had 65 strong there, and I was very appreciative to all those that came out and the efforts. However, we had an incident on Roxborough on Sunday with some violence there, some gunshots there. I will be having a town hall meeting on July the 8th that is public safety, so anybody in any district is welcome to come. We're trying to make an emphasis on District 2, but we're just trying to make sure we cover all our bases in District 2.
All right.
I did. This past weekend.
All right.
I have one more.
Mr.
So if
Pruitt.
the Attorney General comes back and says that we can hire off-duty officers to enforce our traffic laws,
Or
then
any
what?
kind of law.
It's an opinion. All right. Anything else?
No, yeah.
Everybody
I
good?
want to hear an answer, though. I wanna
All right.
know-
I can't tell you as I sit here that I recall specifically what I asked, but it did entail asking if law enforcement can be hired to enforce the criminal laws of the state of Alabama in an off-duty capacity.
Have we gotten any response?
We have not. Well, we did get feedback initially simply because Ms. Blaylock and I both submitted opinion requests. We failed to coordinate very well on that. So after that, we did coordinate. We communicated with the AG's office, and we know they've got it. They're working on it, but no follow-up yet.
Stacy, this council, since Noah has built the ark, has hired off-duty officers to patrol neighborhoods to look for crime.
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you, guys. We'll continue this conversation in 2 weeks. In public communication, non-agenda item.